Your favorite fat boys.
Man, I'm on the truck, bitch.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Fat Boys podcast. I'm Jerron.
It's your boy Stefan, a.k.a. Mr. Wash Your Meat, a.k.a. you probably shouldn't do it. Said it don't make sense right now, but it'll make sense in a bit.
Oh, boy. So what's our topics for today?
So we're going to be talking about, what the FDA has recently said about washing your meats in the sink. Because a lot of people do, a lot of black folks definitely do it.
I got my hand up, so yeah, I want the black folks to do it.
And so, and what they say is that, you shouldn't do it. And we're going to also talk about some of the celebrity doctors on TV that I take issue with. Dr. Oz and Dr. Phil.
Mm-hmm. And advice from your boy Steve Harvey.
Yes. Mr. Steve Harvey, yeah. We're going to get into this. Let's get into it. First and foremost, washing your meat. Fellas, do you wash your meat? Ladies, do you wash your meat? You shouldn't.
No douche neither. What are we talking about again? You really threw me out there.
So the FDA has come out and said, you go ahead and let everybody know what the FDA said.
So the FDA came out and said, you shouldn't wash your meat. Because you can spread salmonella, throughout your kitchen. So for many years, I've seen my dad always rinse off the chicken, and then, prepare it how he's going to prepare it, for that dish. And then all of a sudden they say, oh no. Well, not say all of a sudden, but it's a bit stink about it now. Don't wash your meat because then you spread salmonella. And it's like, I told my dad this, he's like, I've been doing it. My dad been doing it. His dad been doing it. I'm gonna continue to do it.
Now I know you asked me this question, and he's like, do you wash your chicken? I was like, no. Why would I do that?
Well, you should wash. I think you should get something on there. It's something. It's in some blood or something.
Any bacteria that's on the chicken, you're cooking it. I'm not eating the chicken raw.
Ew.
You're cooking the chicken. That's gonna kill off the bacteria. What you washing off the chicken?
The stuff.
What stuff?
The bacteria.
What bacteria?
The bacteria in the chicken.
Where's it going?
It's down the drain.
No.
How you know?
When you washing the chicken off, all you doing is splashing salmonella bacteria all over the goddamn surface.
No, I'm not. Cause I'm not doing like this to the chicken. I'm not flailing around my house.
You can't see all the water particles that's going every place.
If I did like this, I can see it. If I flail around, I can see that.
I can understand if there was some dirt coating on the chicken that you wanted to wash off. But God, no. You said you rinsing water over the chicken to be rinsing it because somebody else did it.
Yeah, my ancestors.
You saw somebody do it. They saw somebody do it. So people just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So do you understand how hot the water would have to be and how much you would need to scrub a chicken with some type of soap to get that bacteria?
Well, that's what we're not doing. First of all, we're not scrubbing the chicken because then you scrub the skin off. Who don't want to eat the skinless chicken?
If you ain't scrubbing the chicken to get the bacteria off, what's running a little water on it doing? You ever had dirty, muddy hands and you just put your hands under the water? Do they get clean?
No, you gotta scrub it.
So if you ain't scrubbing no chicken with some soap.
Well, who scrubs chicken?
I'm just saying, if you ain't scrubbing no chicken with no soap, what the hell are you running water over it for?
I'm not scrubbing chicken. I'm not putting soap in there because the soap, I don't want to taste soap. I want to taste my seasonings.
And you ain't doing nothing with the chicken. All you doing is running water over it because somebody else did it.
Well, essentially,
yeah.
There's
no purpose.
It does to a certain extent because I don't want to cook what was in the little packet into my food. I don't put that in the flour. I don't put that in the, just straight into the pan.
It's no different. Running water on it, you ain't cleaning nothing off of it.
Well, I thought I was until you told me no now.
So people, running water over your chicken does not do anything.
And here's from my black man cooking fried chicken talking about don't wash it.
No, you don't need to wash the chicken.
So you don't wash none of your meats like fish, meat, steaks. Nothing.
No, I'm cooking it. Now, with fish, I usually get fresh fish, so I got to scale it. So, yeah, there's water involved in that. But no, I'm not running the food under some water to make me feel better.
What throw the whole fish in the pan? Just go fry the whole fish like it is.
I mean, I'm sorry. I'm not a shark in the ocean. Scales don't do well with my digestive tract.
Oh, I can see that.
So, no, yeah. So, the FDA has come out and said something that I've known for years, and that everybody who's taken some rudimentary science in high school should have known for years.
I mean, hey, I ain't never heard nobody die. Well, no, I guess somebody has died. But ain't nobody I know died. Right. Put it back in perspective.
It ain't personal to me. Said my daddy gonna keep washing his chicken, so I'm gonna keep washing mine.
Lightly, I'm gonna wash it lightly. I'm gonna just pat it dry and put it in the seasoning or season it how I've been doing it, how you been doing it, and then cook it. Ain't nobody gonna die. Hopefully not. I'm already on death's doorstep anyway. So
right. So you in death's driveway.
Right.
Let's not go in the door.
Nah, I don't want to go in death's house.
Okay, so the next thing we want to talk about, we want to, since you broached these topics with these celebrity personalities who dole out all of these advice and medical advice. So we're going to talk about Dr. Oz and we're going to talk about Dr. Phil, since this is going to be a topic about another health and wellness topic.
So I don't see what the problem is with Dr. Oz. I thought he gave out decent advice, but if you watch him enough, it's always something coming up about like, oh, don't eat this, don't eat that, and it's like, golly, what can you have? Because I was watching one thing, he said somebody that's like, you can't eat bread. Like he was talking about how bad bread was for you. But what's your take on these guys?
Well, Dr. Oz is a weird one because he is a licensed medical doctor. I mean, he was a stand-up doctor in his field, and he pushes all these homeopathic bullshit medicines. It's shit that has absolutely no medical basis around it, and he pushes this stuff like it's miracle cures. I mean, every time he pushes a product, he always talks like it's the coming of fucking Jesus in terms of health. And so that it fucking kills me is because he is a medical doctor. I mean, he had 8 years of college, medical residency, and he was a star in his goddamn field. And then he pushes these bullshit things onto I'm not gonna call them stupid people, but uninformed people.
Okay.
So that's the problem that I have with Dr. Oz.
So I guess being a doctor, yes, he's a professional doctor. Can he can't change his mind and say like, oh, I found a better way?
Yeah, you can change your mind if there is evidence to back it up. The products that he pushing have absolutely no scientific basis.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, so if a person thinks a certain way and then there's newer evidence that disproves what they think, it's more credible evidence and it's better evidence, you are allowed to change your mind. I'm not going to be mad at you. I will be proud of you if somebody presents you with better evidence and that changes your mind on an opinion that you had. Mm-hmm. We as a society shouldn't beat anybody up for it. But if you come up with some bullshit and then you convince 1 million people of this bullshit, we as a society should beat you up about it. So the supplements that he's pushing, all of these, medical things, well, I'm not going to say medical, but all of these beneficial things that he's pushing have no scientific basis, and a lot of times they can end up being harmful to people. And he is a medical doctor who should know better. I mean, he even had a congressional hearing about this shit. He's a fucking salesman.
Oh.
He's pretty much like a Dr. Sebi. I hate to make the comparison because Dr. Oz has an actual medical fucking degree. Right,
he's actually a doctor. He's
the same kind of snake. He's become the same kind of snake oil salesman. And speaking of motherfuckers who call themselves doctor but aren't doctors, Dr. fucking Phil. He is not a doctor.
I didn't know that. I thought he was. I thought he was a psychologist.
No, he is not a clinical doctor.
Okay.
He got a PhD in in psychology, but he He has no medical background.
So what does it take for you just to have the doctor, officially put it in front of your name?
One, you have to be licensed. You either working in academia or you working for the state. You have to be licensed. You have to have a medical background. He plays a doctor on TV.
So it shows like he's helping people out. So it seems I thought he was a psychologist. So I thought his show's based on.
No, he is not a licensed psychologist.
Okay, so by definition, no, he's not.
No, he is not a doctor.
Yeah, because a lot of times on the show, he's like trying to help people out, but in the sense of psychologists, they do help people, but I think it's more private. And these episodes, they're just like exploiting these people's problems.
They're exploiting human misery. He's making his money off of exploiting human misery. I mean, he's Jerry Springer. I mean, again, he's Jerry Springer, with a faux medical coating. That's all he's fucking Jerry Springer. And the fact of the matter is that I said the only saving grace I would have about Dr. Phil is the fact that he has medical people behind him, to do some fact checking, and but he's not a doctor. He can't give anybody a fucking diagnosis. He can't prescribe any kind of medication, and most of his show is just him self-grandizing. So
he's caused people dumb too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but again, the only reason I've seen the show is because when I go down to my aunt's house on Friday, she likes Dr. Phil, and I sit there and I watch television with her. And one of the things that's on is Dr. Phil, and he's so self-serving. It's all about Dr. Phil. It's all about promoting whatever thing that he's put money behind. Mm-hmm. Whatever thing his wife is doing, he'll have her come up and talk about whatever thing organization she started. So it's so much self-fucking promotion. It's really infuriating.
Hmm. Yeah, it's crazy how Oprah got behind him. He was on her show for quite a few times.
She gave him his spinoff show.
Yeah,
and again they call him Dr. Phil, and he's as bad as Dr. Sebi. He's not a fucking doctor.
So we have not only black people, but we got white people out there, kind of promoting this, these lifestyles, or these things, these altering, changing lifestyles, and it's not helping, or it's not backed by science.
Yeah, no, none of it is. So I mean, the only thing with Dr. Phil is he does have a team of specialists that he employs. So some of his information is more credible, but he is not a doctor, and he is a fucking TV show host in the same vein as Jerry Springer, trying to bring interesting stories to get people watching so he can make.
So speaking of talk show hosts, before we jump in about Steve Harvey, Maury Povich.
I mean, what about Maury?
Maury been on a long time.
Maury is a one-trick pony.
Yeah, he is.
He found his niche. He gets the craziest goddamn black people to do this shit. And you want to know the funny thing about it is, if you ever read the disclaimer on his show, the paternity tests don't actually hold up.
Are you serious?
Yep. They have a disclaimer about that. Do not use the results of the paternity test to actually determine paternity. Go to an official doctor and get those paternity tests.
What?
So there, whatever there is, there's some margin of error, and that you should actually go to an official doctor to, for the paternity test. So when Maury said you were not the father, that's not 100% accurate.
Oh, mind blown.
So yeah, so if
because I always see towards the end of the show, or whenever they get like a break, they always show like the test they use, the company they use for the test results.
Yeah, it's not 100%. So they always that's a disclaimer that they always have. So Maury Povich told you were not the father. Make sure you go to an official doctor and check.
I hope I don't have an that shit.
So if somebody ever invites you on Maury Povich and he tells you that you're not the father, you're not 100% sure. You should really go get a blood test.
All right, so Maury Povich, Steve Wilkos. He was actually like, I know he was a bodyguard or a producer on Jerry Springer.
Yeah, I think he was one of the security.
Yeah, security guard.
He got his own show.
Which That's crazy. In the fact that you were a bodyguard and you had your own talk show.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving everybody shows.
Yeah, so you watch this show?
I've never seen it.
Okay, I watch it and there. It's more so like, they deal with tougher issues. They like sexual abuse. It's mainly a lot of sexual abuse and like who's a liar, who's not.
Oh, so okay, so he found his niche.
He found his niche too, because like every time I tell her, it's like you touched those kids. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Well, let's say lied to the test. Oh, it proved you did.
I don't want to say this because I work for the government and I've had to take a polygraph, but polygraphs are bullshit.
Yeah, they're very easy to manipulate.
They don't actually tell you anything.
Okay.
I mean, even if you were to take a polygraph by the police, polygraph tests are not admissible in court.
So they don't hold no weight then?
That should tell you something. A polygraph test that is done by a police officer in a murder investigation is not admissible in court. So anytime that you go on the show and they say, we have you take this polygraph test, you failed, take that result with a grain of goddamn salt.
Yeah, it's always like, oh, you cheated on me. It came back, you lied. And it's like, it's all 9 times out of 10 is the same result that they lied, or is that one time when they told the truth?
Because the thing that a polygraph test actually tests, it can't tell you whether or not you're telling the truth or not. Because if you are an exceptionally nervous person, they're plugging up things to you. You're nervous. You won't be able to answer the question without seeming as if you're lying. So take every polygraph result with a grain of salt.
So
remember that it's not admissible in court.
So it's not, if it doesn't hold that much weight, then why are they used?
Oh, because pop culture says that it's the end all be all of determining whether someone is lying.
Hey.
It's all about what pop culture says. And if you've seen it in enough movies, strap them up to the lie detector test. You're a liar. It becomes part of the cultural zeitgeist.
Gotcha. So Steve Wilkos, Maury Povich, who else is out there for talk shows? Ellen?
I don't. What does Ellen do?
I don't know. She's like, it's always the feel good show.
Oh, doesn't she just make people dance and stuff? I don't think I particularly have any issues with it. I've never really watched this show. Unless you got some seedy dark shit going on that I don't know about. I mean, Ellen, what you doing? Why he bring your name up? What do you know?
Her show's always is a happy show. Her stick is that every time when I come across it, she's always bringing on the Nets, internet sensation on there, and then they blow up.
Because she's huge in the talk show. Would you just be watching a bunch of talk shows when you at dialysis?
Yeah,
that's it. Okay, I figured this what that was.
I flip through the channels because they have a little TV there. I flip through the channels, or I'm not flipping through TV trying to find something like not to look at. Or I'll be on my phone and I'm looking on the internet, or I'm writing up topics for us, or I'm doing other things to occupy my time, or try to make use of my time while I'm in there for 3.5 hours. But yeah, I be coming across talk shows. I'm like, what are they talking about? And I'm like, okay, nothing. And then let's say it's like some internet person is on there and then he blew up and they have millions of followers all of a sudden. So, but yeah, that's been mainly her stick is bringing on somebody and then they blow up.
I don't have any particular issues with Ellen. I mean, again, unless you know something I don't, that I need to put my foot down Ellen's throat.
Hey, I don't want no problems. Shit, if Ellen help me find a kidney, I'm more grateful. But I have no problems with Ellen.
So I got no issues with Ellen.
Who else is there? Okay, Ellen, Steve Wilkos, Maury Povich, Jay Springer's still on. What about the judge shows? You don't watch no judge shows? I mean,
when I go down to my aunt's house, she watches Judge Judy, so I watch that with her as well. I don't like Judge Judy.
Why not?
One, she's far removed from poor people, so when she has poor people on her show, she doesn't understand the plight of poor people, and she will shit on somebody for not being able to do stuff because they're fucking poor.
Yeah, Judge Judy making bank.
She is completely removed from the struggles of being poor. And that comes in her judgments and her interactions with people. And two, Judge Judy talk. She got a slick ass mouth. If we was on the streets, Judge Judy get that ass beat. I'm just gonna put that out there. If she come out, if she popping off at the mouth on the streets, she get that ass beat.
She would. She about what? She about like what? 80 years old.
I don't even care how old she is.
No, I ain't saying that's the age you don't get your ass beat, but you get them hands laid on you.
She popping off at the mouth the way that somebody who tried to get that ass beat pop off at the mouth. So that's all I'm saying.
Oh, bitch.
So yeah, that I do have beef with Judge Judy.
She do get you smart. They be like, but think about it. It's a couple of you gotta catch it though. The people on the show have came back at her. Like one guy was like, I was sleeping with your mom or sleeping with your daughter, something like that. And she like, what? Huh? He's like, is this a joke? But yeah, they get slick with her. Like it's a whole segment on YouTube where you see they get slick with her. They got slick with Judge Joe Brown and even Judge Mathis. So I like Judge Mathis and what's her name? It's the People's Court. I can't remember her name though. But she's funny though. She's real witty.
So yeah, I mean I don't know about any of them. Like I said, because the only one judge show that my aunt watches is Judge Judy, and I take extra special issue with her. I got issue with Judge Judy. I got a quick little story as one, but when I was younger, I was trying to see this little girl I was talking to, and I was like, "Ma, can you take me to the little girl house?" She like, "Yeah, I gotta do something, whatever. I'll take you." I said, "All right, cool." So the little girl like, "Yeah, I come over. I'm be there like around whatever time was that thing, like say like 1 o'clock." So my mom didn't get finished done to about 2. She's like, "All right, wait a minute, I gotta do one more thing, and I'll take you." I said, "Okay." So I told the girl, "Yeah, one more, give me a little more time. I'm finishing up." Mind you, I ain't like taking the bus, and this is out like Poplar Grove, so I'm gonna catch the bus out to the hood. Oh yeah, you wasn't catching the bus at all.
We ain't gotta go that far into it.
Okay,
that's a whole nother episode.
My bad.
Okay, thank you. So she gets done at 3 o'clock. I was like, "All right, Ma, you take me?" As Judge Judy go off. Judge Judy was on for fucking 2 hours. I'm like,
so Judge Judy cop blocked
the fuck out of me. Thank you, Judge Judy. Old white bitch. So I got beef with Judge Judy off of that alone.
Oh, like I said, my beef with her is one, how she talked to people, and 2, how she doesn't understand the struggle of being fucking poor.
I don't know what her background is, but she get paid like 10 to 15 million a season.
I think she makes $4 million for about 4 months of work.
Woo.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, we just born white women with a judge show. We be set.
Yo, you don't know?
Rolling in the dough.
I mean, I talk shit to people all the time, and I don't make no money off of that. I'm just gonna put that the fuck out there. Give me a judge show. I can give a bullshit verdict and talk down to people.
We just need a talk show because you ain't got no credentials nowadays.
Nope. Fucking the doctor Stefan and Dr. Degree, fucking herbal health element hour.
I'm letting you know right now, I give you number Kool-Aid. That's my remedy for whatever your
Kool-Aid packets.
Right. Whatever your element is, it's Kool-Aid.
You got pink eye? Use the pink Kool-Aid.
You got bruises? Purple Kool-Aid.
So what you do is you make a batch of Kool-Aid, you take the leftover, you snort that, and rub the rest in your eye. That's sound medical advice. That's how we get down.
There you go.
So I can have my own talk show just like motherfucking Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz.
There you go.
And if we talking about giving out horrible advice, your boy.
Why you gotta be my boy?
Because he your motherfucker.
Why he ain't done nothing for me?
Your boy. Steve motherfucking Harvey.
I don't know where to start with that, man. I just feel like the advice he gives sometimes it's just one-sided. Now, I see him give some advice a couple of times. It's like, oh, okay, that wasn't too bad.
I'm sorry. The man who has been married 5 times is giving out poor advice? What? How the fuck you giving out relationship advice and you on marriage number 5? You clearly don't know how to make the shit work. How you gonna tell somebody else how to make it work?
I mean,
here's how I fucked up on the last 4. Don't do this.
this is true. It's hard to believe. It's hard to take the advice from somebody who's been married several times, and the marriages have not worked, versus someone who has probably had the marriage for one time and married for 40 years.
And even then, because my stepmother and my father have been married for some 20, 30 years. I don't even know at this point. It's been a long game. So like some 20 years. It's like, I could take advice from them, but all you know how to do is be married to that person. I'm not marrying that person, so your advice isn't that relevant to me.
Because it only pertains to that person. That makes sense. I mean, my parents were married for 42, going on, about 42 years.
So your parents can tell me how to be married to each other.
Yeah, that's even funny within themselves. They be arguing. They be like, they don't argue, but they have like these little spats. And be like, what's wrong with y'all? Oh, he ain't telling where he was going. Where'd you go? To the basement. He went to the basement and didn't tell her. She's upset about that. That's the kind of conflict they have at 42 years old. At 42 years worth of marriage.
Oh, see, I mean, yeah. I can trust their advice better than I can trust Steve Harvey's. I knew that, I couldn't hear a goddamn thing Steve Harvey said when he said about atheists that he can't understand where atheist morality come from. I was like, how the fuck does that even make sense? Like, how can you be a moral person if you don't believe in God? Because apparently morality comes from God.
Oh, so he's saying that you can't have morality if you don't believe in God.
Yeah, you can't have a moral compass if you don't believe in God.
Well, that's not true.
Because, in the pantheon of human history, only the people who believe in God could be good people. So, so fuck Steve Harvey and every bit of advice that he gives. I'm not hating on him because he's more famous than me, because he's been more famous than me for a long time. I get your point. I definitely do. Like, that's not cool to say, like, oh, a group of people, you're being a bigot then almost. Right? No? To a degree. Okay. But you ain't in a group of people because they don't have the same mindset as you. Right. You can't say that, they're immoral. So your understanding of morality is that it can only come from a higher power, as opposed to that, people in and of themselves create morality and then follow those rules. Well, then you wouldn't cheat on your wives. But we don't know that. I mean, if we going by morality, 5 fucking marriages. That's a lot. That's a lot. I don't know how moral you can be married 5 fucking times. Yeah, I was reading up on him today, and it was I think his 3rd or 4th wife was saying that he cheated on her and all this other stuff. And he's like, nah, I didn't do that. And I think that's how a lot of his marriage were ending. That it was infidelity issues, whatever. So, it didn't hold the whole think like a man thing. Yeah, I mean. I think about the only bit of advice that I liked out of the whole thing like a man thing was, dealing with children and introducing, children to the potential mate early, as opposed to, keeping them a secret and just, I got kids. So right. So if you want, I think that was about the only advice of his that I actually is like, because that's something that I always say, if a person, you're dealing with a person that got children and it's a potential for a long-term relationship, then sure, you should probably, introduce them early so that, they can become acclimated, because this one thing, y'all been dating for months and months and months, and then he meet the child, and then it's like, fuck this little nigga. So, that was about the only thing, but all the rest of his advice, man, he can kiss all of the ass. You hear that, Steve? Kiss all of the ass. One thing he had in his book, too, was like the 90-day rule. And it was, I think not to be intimate for 90 days. You're dating somebody, it's like a trial run. You get to know somebody, and before you got the benefits, you got to make them wait 90 days. Now, I like the idea of that, but I think realistically, if you want to jump my bones the first day, I'm all for it. I'm not gonna slut shame you. I'm sorry. I am an open liberal individual. If the mood is right and we both just we get finished with the date and you're like, you know what? Penis. Let's just get to playing with it. Sure. If we both feel the same way, what's to stop us? We're grown ass consenting adults. Right. Consenting. Yes, consent is a huge part of that. Right.
No rapey.
I just don't walk out of the restaurant. Well, the penis is out. Get the plane, please.
Oh God, a whole knot.
So that whole idea of you gotta wait to have sex because waiting to have sex makes the relationship stronger. I don't understand that one.
I mean, I feel like when I dated, I didn't have no expectation of like how long it would be before we had sex. It's like I wait for her to make that to let me know where it's going. To get a feel of if that's gonna happen sooner or later. So now because I used to say like, oh, it's 9-day woman has a 9-day rule or like wait a year. You tell me a year, bye.
Oh, you telling me 90 days, bye. I'm sorry. I said, well, we gotta wait for your vagina to bloom? Hey, what's going on here? What's going on with your parts?
The high tide, the moon got to be full.
What's going on with your parts that you need a gestation period for your vagina before you can use it?
So yeah, it's everybody's different, and U.S. standards.
Right.
When you got enough data, I guess, on us. Either way, that's fine, dandy. When you comfortable, or you want to be like, look, if we can have some fun and we're gonna be one and done, that's cool too.
Right.
I'm all for that.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of Steve Harvey and all of the advice that he gives. Again,
I think he's done really well with Family Feud because before he was on there, I don't think it was as popular as it is now. You have a lot of it's more fun.
It's so formulaic though. Like he'll ask a question that obviously will be misinterpreted as something sexual, and then he'll just.
But I don't think that's his fault though.
No, it's the fault of the producers.
Okay.
And then he'll give the exact same overreaction. Mm-hmm. It's so formulaic, like because again, that's one of the shows that when I go down, to visit my aunt, she watches and I watch with her, and the formula is so formulaic. It's like, okay, all right, you're gonna ask a question that's gonna extremely be misinterpreted as something sexual, and then one of the contestants is gonna say something sexual, and then Steve Harvey's gonna give this canned response to it. Mm-hmm. It's like now that I'm pointing it out, watch the show. You'll see it.
Oh yeah, no, I watched it enough. My dad. He gets on the stick where he finds a show he'll watch it for like a long period of time till he eventually gets bored of it. He's been watching it for quite a few years, and I watch it with him. I'm like, all right, yeah, okay. It's like they found a niche and they keep rolling with it every time. Yeah. So, but yeah, I like him on that. He has another show. He's Family Feud. He has a talk show. He got a radio show. He got the show called Big Shots. Yeah. It's a little kid show. It's kind of like Kids That Done Things. Oh, okay. So it's on the same premise of that, and it's a cute show because the kids on there doing different things. So I think he's good with that. So, but now his show got canceled, the talk show, and they replacing him with Jenny McCarthy.
No, I doubt it's Jenny McCarthy.
Melissa McCarthy, the woman that was on Mike and Molly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, her.
Melissa McCarthy.
Yeah, he getting replaced by her on Big Shot. So I'm pretty sure he got something else coming in the works.
I mean, he's still on the radio.
Yeah, so.
I mean, while I was down in Georgia, over the past weekend, he's on the radio on their morning show, just being annoying ass Steve Harvey.
Is there anybody that you do like? Damn.
I mean, there's a lot of people I like, but I like Steve Harvey as a comedian. But when he started trying to be a self-help guru, that's when everything kind of fell off of me. Yeah. Listen, as a comedian, I mean, the Kings of Comedy is fucking hilarious. And his segment in Kings of Comedy is fucking hilarious. But when he started trying to be a self-help guru, yeah, he started shilling out all that dumbass advice. Nope, can't do it. Can't listen to him.
Yeah, I can feel that. Anything else you want to touch on? I think that's pretty much it.
I think that's got it covered on all of the TV ideologues that I hate. So again, for anybody who watches these shows or who takes them seriously, one, the bullshit that Dr. Oz pushes has no medical efficacy whatsoever. Look into it. He touts things as miracle cures that don't actually do shit. Dr. Phil is not a fucking doctor. So he plays a doctor on television, and he will call himself Dr. Phil to the day he died, but he is not a goddamn doctor. He is not a licensed medical practitioner. And if you listen to Steve Harvey, don't.
Especially not dating advice.
Right. No, none of his. I mean, granted, he is a successful individual, but his advice is bullshit. Stop listening to him.
And don't wash your meat.
Yes. Well, regardless of what somebody told you, stop washing your meat.
And women don't wash your meat.
I think it was a blanket statement.
Oh, okay.
Say thank you for tuning in. Like always, hit us up on our Gmail account. You can listen to us on Spotify, on Google Play Music, on iTunes, and on SoundCloud. Hit that like button, subscribe, the notifications, all of the YouTube shit. I don't particularly care, but he kind of does.
Help me.
And that's our show. Peace out.
Peace.